Welcome to a battlefield of minds. Two grandmasters face off where every move cuts like a sword. One mistake, and it's over. This isn't just chess. It's war disguised as strategy. Let's dive in, move by move, into this epic clash. Wesley So opens 1 darting. d4. Boom. And we must hang. A central pawn thrust staking claim to the board's heart, Wesley planting a flag and daring Gupta to try and take the property back. Abhijeet Gupta replies, 1. Inner, more. Under den, ombikunnan. Nf6. The knight hops out, eyes e4 and d5, flexible, alert, and saying, I'll counterpunch your center if you overcommit. Invadicio. Inasin. Pessimo kime. Wesley plays 2 moyen. c4, hurling another pawn into the furnace, classic Queen's Gambit energy, forcing contact in the center, and testing Gupta's resolve. Gupta answers, to pest. Nenip 10, iken diosc. Nembeze, endeavorin, endicenta, inainoux, and hendai. Isix, shoring up d5, and freeing his dark-squared bishop, a disciplined, slightly conservative reply that hides bite behind a calm face. Wesley develops 3 bite. Nf3, bringing a knight to guard d4, and hit a5, tidy development, keeping kingside castling options clean and tension building. Gupta plays 3 gestone, pin missed 3. Ndanimani. Nezian. b6, preparing, Portuguese, Monjantas. Andau. Unden. Can. Enemy mimo. In min. Enemy ning. Energizer. Azulani. bb7 and a queenside fianchetto, sly and positional, he wants that long diagonal to nag at white's center. Wesley plays 4 pentin. a3, prophylaxis at work. He denies any quo. Innemus koch. Enanain. Ilinyae. Anano. NB4 shenanigans, keeps his c3 square under control, and quietly prepares for future b4 ideas. Gupta slides 4 Testania. Anwizian. Anino, and Aneninao, Anli. bb7, bishop on the long diagonal like a sniper in a tower, looking at e4 and whispering threat to white's central pawns. Wesley develops 5 to 10. nc3, the knight lands on c3, supporting d5 and e4, development with purpose, keeping pressure centralized and options open. Gupta strikes with 5 10. Mina. AC. And when you would Volunsteman, an angel. And? Tia. d5, A blunt central pawn push challenging white's structure. He wants to open the field and test who really owns the center. Wesley grade 6. cx5. Pawn from c4 captures pawn on d5. First blood. White opens lines, hoping to exploit black's slightly loose coordination. Gupta answers 6 Punde. 26. Antinance. Midgame. Next 5. Knight from f6 jumps to d5 and recaptures the pawn, centralizing and daring Wesley to overextend while black's cavalry patrols the center. Wesley plays 7 Pentortimen. qc2, queen tucking to c2 behind the pawns, eyeing f4 and strengthening central control, while keeping an eye on queenside tactics. Gupta develops 7 Pawns e1 k7. Ninida de pawn. Pandionomal. Aninsis, Midgame. Andaonim. Bena Binadi says in Nisadia, in that pan. Bizaven. The bishop heads for 7, preparing to castle. Sensible, solid, and quietly readying the king's safety before the fireworks. Wesley. Proust's 8 Payton. f4. A bold push into the throat of black's knight on d5. White screams for central dominance and tries to drive black off key squares. Gupta counterpunches. 8 Portun. Namuna. Dian. Ink c3. The knight on d5 dives to c3, and captures white's knight on c3. A tactical bite that inflicts structural damage. Wesley recaptures 9 Port. bxc3. Pawn from b2 takes on c3, swallowing the knight and forming a sturdy pawn on c3 that supports d4 and controls b5. Gupta. Kessels 9. Piaget Wiz. Endgame. Tucking his king to safety and connecting rooks. Practical timing, acknowledging the center will soon become a battlefield. Wesley brings 10. Porch Q. bd3, into play, bishop eyes 7 and the king side. Its development with menace, ready to support e4 a5 or join a future attack. Gupta replace 10. Chivolio West. Indian. c5, striking back at the center with the c-pawn. He undermines d4, opens lines for b7 and q8, and declares bluntly, I fight back. The opening smoke begins to clear. Paya. Wesley plays 11. Fjordwisen, and it holder, and the sin watch that's case. Finally castling his king to safety. The rook swings into action, and white declares, okay, king safe, now it's time to punch. Nowadays. Gupta answers 11. Penorish section. N. Q8, quietly lifting his queen, hinting at pressure along the c-file, and maybe setting eyes on c3 and g4 squares. Wesley steps in with 12 parts. q2. Queen sliding over to back up e4 andih5. It's like sharpening a blade under the table. Gupta better watch. Gupta develops 12 pilch. And he more is an no audition, a -010. b6, bishop lunges to s6, laser beaming white's rook on d3. A nasty pin on the horizon. Gupta's pieces are pointing in dangerous directions. Wesley responds, 13. Ardone, rook stepping aside, dodging the X-ray and keeping control of the open file. Clean, safe, and steady. Gupta swaps with 13. Anatis. Pen. bxd3. Bishop takes bishop on d3, trading off one of white's attackers and trying to blunt Wesley's firepower. Wesley calmly replies, 14. rxd3. Rook takes bishop, restoring balance and keeping pressure along the d-file. Gupta slashes, 14 pin. And it kill and ishimyo. And more. cx4, pawn captures pawn, and opens central lines. It's a dagger thrust into white's setup, and the position gets sharp. Wesley retakes, 15, penetrates. cx4, pawn from c3, chomps the intruder, rebuilding the pawn chain and keeping space. Gupta slips in 15. Ent. Nian. Henchi. Key. N7. Knight reroutes with eyes on b6, f6, and maybe c5, eight. He's regrouping, plotting a counterblow. Wesley slides 16. Pet Bioyan, change 16. a4. Pawn storm on the king side. This is a warning shot. Gupta's king. Better stay awake. Gupta answers, 16 Torit Tuor. Tanildes Shish, Den Bugden, and 16. Indani. Anesiwen, Almason and Shenkeris. Re8. Rook to 8. Maybe planning, twatting. Almost until. Nay. B fight to bolster defense, or ruin. Andenyan, amulmestisch. On. F5 at the right moment. Wesley advances, 17 pitch. A5, his pawn charging down like a battering ram. The king side is shaking. Gupta feels the heat. Gupta tries 17. He will win in metros. Nesii. Mystery. Kha'Zix. Queen swings out, poking at white's rook on d3, and eyeing a sneaky invasion on a-file squares. Wesley coolly drops 18 b4. Bishop comes alive, eyeing 7 and targeting Gupta's weak points. A sniper rifle just got mounted. Gupta counters, 18 poked. Ningani. Ngai. Ndividi. Nmo. Race 8. Rook joins the c-file, doubling pressure and trying to seize control of open lines. Wesley builds tension with 19. Rioni. Rook centralizing to support f5 pushes, while keeping pressure coordinated. Gupta goes 19. Nubatenaho. Unedaine mountainous pema. Antilanonishamus eid. Astelmanen. A. Mennius. Raid 8. Doubling his rooks on the d-file. The clash of heavy artillery is about to erupt. Wesley thrusts, 20. Qa3. Queen steps forward, looking at g5 and putting pressure everywhere. He's tightening the noose with every move. Gupta meets him with 20. And Ida, Inenis. NC5. Knight jumps forward, plugging holes and staring at e4 and b3. The board is lit with sparks. We're not in the opening anymore. This is full-blown middlegame warfare. Wesley coolly drops 21 te. Penetzimen me nedoluren, bistine. Helsonis antis. RC3. Rook lifts to the third rank, like a siege tower rolling into range. The white heavy artillery is about to start bombarding. Gupta retreats with N7, knight stepping back, almost sheepish. He's circling the wagons, but Wesley smells fear. Wesley slams 22, Pestomo Enmanian. B7. Bishop planting itself deep in enemy territory. Toy. That piece is a dagger at black's throat. Gupta tries. Re8. Rook shifting defensively, trying to hold everything together with duct tape. Wesley pushes 23. A6. Pawn storming toward Gupta's king, like a screaming berserker. The walls are shaking. Gupta plays QBB7, queen sliding away, watching, waiting, but also looking passive, almost scared. Wesley doubles cannons, with 24 denin. Nulo meisuan, initiotst. Rekone. Rooks stacked like twin howitzers. Firepower is maxed. Gupta plants. On f6. Knight back in defense, a lone warrior trying to plug every hole. Wesley stabs, with 25. Befeve, bishop pointing straight at the queen. That's a sniper scope on black's royalty. Gupta lashes out with ext3. Rook captures rook, a brutal clash of siege engines. Wesley keeps momentum, 26. rxt3. Rook retakes rook. The cannons are still loaded. Gupta snatches q4. Queen grabs pawn, pretending to counterattack. She's hunting, but she might be too deep in enemy land. Wesley calmly drops 27. Pen. Kokone, queen stepping into the spotlight, laser focused on Gupta's weak spots. Gupta responds. Kugi6, queen pulls back, defense mode engaged. The black queen's posture screams, "Please don't kill me." Wesley rips open the king's side with 28. Hg7. Pawn captures and charges into Gupta's castle debt. This is a war horn blaring in his face. Gupta jumps. Nun5. Knight desperately plugging the d5 square, scrambling to hold the bleeding walls. Wesley whirls 29. rb3. Rook swings across like a battering ram on the flank, ready to smash the fortress. Gupta shoves 6. Pawn trying to shut doors before white storms through. A thin shield. Wesley coolly plays 30. Beatafu. Bishop retreats with style, waiting, smirking, the calm before a guillotine drops. Gupta snaps, qst7, queen gobbles the advanced pawn. He breathes relief, but danger still suffocates the board. Wesley leaps 31, Perostoyetpoesian. Nephev. Knight storms into the center, a warlord in gleaming armor. Gupta looks cornered. Gupta shuffles. Quo fight, queen retreating again, tied down, tied up, pil. Wesley slashes 32 to win. Kgx. Queen stepping in, like a blade pressed to black's throat. Gupta claws. Fc5. Pawn takes pawn, hoping exchanges will ease his pain. Wesley fires back 33. Qs6. Queen check. Gupta's king is shoved around like prey in a predator's cage. Gupta ducks into kite, the king hiding in the corner like a fugitive. Wesley smashes with 34 Taurian. Panitsi Menendusoini, E24. Qext5. Queen munches pawn plundern wichen, en, Shantanian Penteris. Gupta's defenses are falling brick by brick. Gupta plays bf6. Bishop finally steps up, throwing himself in front of the gun. Wesley rips 35 Ture. Xf. Bishop takes. Bishop pot to Obersten mystissimas dennen. Penamestioni Korsteit. The guard is slain. Gupta retakes. Big Xf5, but the army is running out of men. Wesley calmly pushes. 36. Day c5. Pawn snaps back, and white's pawn centers rolling forward like a tank. Gupta answers. Sate. Rook takes a stand on the open file. The last black cannon is pointed downrange. Wesley slides 37. QD2. Queen regrouping, cold, clinical, hunting lines like a predator circling. Gupta trusts. Q5. Queen bluffing at activity, but her back is against the wall. Wesley plays 38. Re3. Rook rises with menace, like an axe raised high for the kill. Gupta blocks with Re8, rook covering squares, but everyone knows it's temporary. Wesley detonates. 39. E6. Pawn storming into Gupta's camp. Much ca. The spear tip is piercing the king's shield. Gupta grabs. Rakes E6. Rook sacrifices itself, but this is only delaying the inevitable. Wesley slams. 40 Teshia. Qd8. Queen check. The hammer drops. Gupta flees to Kg7, his king running for dear life, every square a trap. Wesley slices. 40 Patitene. Endgame borders Amrlidatendes Constituan. 2. Kd7. Queen check again. Relentless, merciless, the king shoved further. Gupta crawls to Kf6, king exposed, dragged into the open field like a doomed commander. Wesley finishes with 42, Datu. Rf3. Rook swings over, the guillotine is positioned. Gupta resigns. Pasting Wurikwen. Wesley So wins. 1-0. Final explosion. Wesley So didn't just outplay Gupta, he steamrolled him. Piece by piece, line by line, Gupta's army crumbled, until the king was wandering hopelessly in no man's land. A masterclass of pressure, precision, and ruthless execution. The video ends here. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. Please don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel to support me. Thank you again, everyone. See you in the next video.